Yeah! Welcome to Art's Place, conservative talk from a different view. Hey, we've got a great show today. We're going to talk about Democrats defecting from the party over impeachment. And then we're going to talk about uh, Mike Huckabee floated an idea of Trump getting a third term. We'll talk about that. Plus, China and Trump have agreed on a trade deal. So stick around. It should be a good show. My host, Lloyd Mendenhall, will be here shortly. So let's get this party started. So we've got a defector from, I think, Virginia. And I'll pull up his name. Leaving the party. Yes, New Jersey Representative Jeff Van Drew, opposed to impeachment, expected to leave the party, which is interesting. It's interesting that the Democrats, for once, can't get a total consensus on their side. So we'll see how that plays out. Maybe there might be some other Democrats that might switch sides and just turn this impeachment hearing or vote on its head. Now, wouldn't it be something if they have the vote this week? I think they're going to have it this week. And wouldn't it be something if they go to have the vote and they come up short? Oh boy, that might be the only thing that just might save the Democrat Party. And I bet you Nancy Pelosi is counting on it because she probably knows that if the impeachment goes through and Trump is impeached and they send it over to the Senate for trial, that it's going to come back and bite him in the butt. So, what crimes did he commit? Obstruction of Congress. Really? I mean, is that really a big deal? Hey, I don't know about you, but my illustrious co-host, Lloyd Mendenhall, is in the building, so let's bring him on.
Hello, Art. How you doing?
So, Lloyd, welcome to the show. Glad you can make it.
Yeah, well, I know what the problem is with why you're having problems using vMix.
Yeah.
It's not working with StreamYards now. They've done something to StreamYards, or something about the new update. I don't know if you've updated to vMix 23 or not, but the two aren't compatible right now
Oh, I see. I see. Yeah.
because I used it last week. I know you did too
Yep.
on here,
No, I
but
think last week I was having
okay.
issues where the video wouldn't work, and I couldn't get the guest to come on the show. I was just going to do it with vMix,
Right,
and it
right.
just wouldn't work. So I decided, heck with it, we'll use
Well,
StreamYards.
anyways, that's what the problem is. It's not accepting vMix right now. So,
Oh my!
and I knew we was running late, or I was running late. I've been working on the set because then I tried logging in because I didn't get the login until just about 10 minutes before, and I have my
Yeah.
housekeepers here today. They came today instead of yesterday, but
Uh, yeah, I was running a little late too because I was watching the Broncos game, and then I
ah,
grabbed a quick lunch and got in here and did my Facebook stuff and got the StreamYards ready and sent you the link. And
yeah,
yeah, so good news is I sent an email to Congressman Ken Buck, and what they did is I got a response back. They said they're
okay,
they're going to forward it to his scheduler. So
All right.
hopefully, very quickly, we could have Congressman Ken Buck. He is congressman from the 4th district here in Colorado. And he's also on the Judiciary Committee, which would be interesting to have him
Yeah.
on, and we
Yeah.
could talk about impeachment.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I've just let me bring up the chat too while I'm at it before
Yeah,
I pop
let's.
out so I can see it. Doesn't look like we got anybody watching today, but
Yeah,
you know, whoops,
yeah,
what did I just do? All right, okay. There we go.
yeah.
All right. But hey,
Hopefully, they'll start coming
yeah.
in and in a
Well,
little bit here.
yeah, let me. Have you done a share out? I always do a share whenever. I always share it to Twitter and to
Oh no, I
Facebook.
haven't done that yet.
Well, I will do that for you right now.
Awesome. I did share it on Facebook, and I put it on my news feed, and I'm not sure if I put it on the Art Space Facebook page yet.
Yeah. Well,
I've been kind of tardy. I gotta start uploading videos up to that
yeah,
page.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to do. I whenever I do like Mel's show or your show or anybody's show, I tend to always just go ahead and share out anyways,
Awesome.
just to make sure. So,
Mm.
whew. All right. Well, we
So
got
I started off by talking about the lone Democrat so far who is leaving the party over impeachment.
I saw that.
Hmm.
Good for him. I'm going to say hello to Steve Carpenter.
Oh, welcome, Steve. And what I'll do is I will uh, do a refresh on YouTube, and I should get the updated. Yep, there it is. 3 people are watching. Cool, cool.
Yep, yep. Oops. Yeah. Yeah,
So,
that was I just saw I was reading a little bit about that this morning. Uh uh I I woke up with one of those really bad dreams. We've had
oh,
so much rain and flooding and all that stuff over
right,
this last year. A lot of roads have deteriorated. Well, up by where my our cabin is at,
right.
there's an earthen dam, and then it drops down like 300 foot off
Oh,
the side. Well, I had a dream that we were driving along, and Judy was doing the drive, and she had forgot, and we forgot. I forgot to tell her the bridge was washed out there, and we drove, and all of a sudden we just dropped 300 foot into nothingness. And
oh
that's when I
boy.
woke up.
Oh
I
no.
hate them kind of dreams,
Yeah, yeah.
you know. But
Oh
anyways,
man.
so I was while I was laying there trying to get my heart rate back down to normal. Uh, and before I got up to get my first cup of coffee, I thought, well, I'm going to read a little bit, and I read that he had been he was the only one who had vote. He was about the only one who voted against the impeachment process in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So I just my whole thing is if he's going to join, I hope he's a conservative.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's what I was thinking.
not just a rhino. We've got enough of those in the party.
Yeah.
If he's just and they're saying he's doing it probably just for the votes, and there's probably some truth to that.
Hmm. He's probably in a district that's marginally Democrat, and there may be more conservative Democrat in his district. And
Yeah, well, from what I understand, there's like 60% are wanting to replace him. So, uh,
oh boy, yeah.
maybe he's hoping to. I mean, I've been reading some of this stuff, and now I saw that uh, who's who was the head of the FBI that Trump fired, uh,
Oh,
James
oh,
or
Brennan
no, not Brennan, the
Clapper, Comey, yes.
Comey. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyways, he's admitting that maybe he was a little overconfident. Anyways, maybe he was a little overconfident in his reaching for the. Thank you, Steve. Yeah, I saw that.
Right.
Yeah, for the overreaching for.
The Russian collusion.
Yeah, well, for the FISA warrant.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
he's saying today on Fox this morning. He said that I might have been a little overconfident and maybe I didn't have quite what I should have. So, you
Okay.
know, he's trying to cover his butt because he's being investigated by,
Yep.
you know, the attorney general and the,
Yep. That's right.
and who's the other guy? One of the other district attorneys or something like that. I can't remember.
Oh, yeah. Attorney General is Bill Barr.
Bill Barr and the other guy.
Hmm.
I don't know if he's the district attorney for Washington or what he is, but
Right.
yeah,
Hmm.
he's investigating. They're both investigating together, so they're going to be bringing up charges.
Oh,
But
great. Let's say hello to Steve Carpenter, Drone Life RC, Alex Mart, aerial videos from Greece. We got somebody from Greece watching.
okay,
That's great. Yeah, so that's what's going on. So this is starting to get interesting. Uh,
Durham, that's his name. Thank you, Steve.
oh, okay.
Durham
Eh,
and Barr are investigating, doing the
Comey?
investigations. Yeah, well, they're investigating. They're Comey, the the whole,
Yeah.
the
Hmm.
whole bunch. Art, you're going to have to pick up your game because I can't remember all these names, and
Yeah.
I'm used to you remembering them all. I start the subject, and then you pick up
Yeah.
and fill in the
Hmm.
blanks, and you're not filling in the blanks today, Art.
Well, thanks for coming, Alex. And you have a Merry Christmas as well. Yeah, so that's what's going on. So it looks like articles of impeachment is going to the House floor. Uh, so, what are the crimes did the president commit? Obstruction of Congress. And what was the other art?
Bribery.
Bribery. The guy is a billionaire. Why does he need to bribe anybody? Why
Yeah,
does he?
or why does he need to be bribed? Yeah, he's
Yeah,
taking bribes.
yeah.
Uh,
That's absurd.
yeah, they have absolutely zero crimes that he's committed. They've just
Mhm.
made up stuff as they went along, and it's the biggest. I'm just, I'm just wondering where it's going to go. I mean, uh, yeah.
Oh, and then they're talking about, well, if we impeach him now, we can impeach him again, even if he's reelected. I'm like, going, how stupid is that?
Well, that's if they get, and that's if they maintain control of the house. If they don't,
That's
and the way it's looking right now, it's iffy at that.
mhm. That is so true.
Yeah. So
And so part of me is like, oh, please go ahead,
yeah,
just kind of, you know, uh, give us the election. And you know what? The good thing about this could have an effect on down tickets, like state races and stuff like
yeah,
that.
right, right.
This could help, especially here in Colorado. It could
Well,
help, the races here, such as state house, state senate. I don't think we have any statewide races other than the Senate race, which is, that's looking kind of iffy
how
because,
long? How long? How? Uh, on what about your house, your state house representatives? Don't
oh
they have to run
yeah,
every 2 years?
yeah, that's
Aren't
every
they?
2 years,
Yeah.
and I think everybody pretty much the only house seat that is in play is District 6 because that was controlled by a Republican
Yeah.
who's now the mayor of Aurora, Colorado. And that could easily flip because if Jason Crow votes yes for impeachment, there's a large black population in Aurora, and Trump is gaining support
Support,
in
yeah,
that group, and this could come back to bite him in the rear.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Point Steve made in something else. He says to this, if it goes to the Senate, once the articles of impeachment have been approved by the full House, then it goes to Senate. Now I heard something the other day, and you and I've talked about this in the past about it going in front of the Supreme Court. You know, what because there's a balance. There's supposed to be a balance
right.
of power.
Mhm.
There's three positions,
Yep,
not two.
yep.
Well,
Three branches. Yeah.
the third branch, the justices, they will be represented because the chief justice of the Supreme Court oversees the trial in the
That's
Senate.
right.
I
That's
did
right.
not, I had forgot because it's
Mhm.
been so long since it's, I either I didn't pay attention when Clinton, when it
Right.
went over to the Senate with him and with Nixon. Well, he resigned before it ever got that far. So,
Yeah. Hmm.
and I'm a little old, but I don't really remember Andrew Johnson's
Yeah.
impeachment. I
Mhm.
was pretty young when that one
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah. I suspected that
Yeah, yeah.
was.
So my memory's a little foggy on that one. So
Well, that one actually went to the Senate and it was defeated by one vote.
one vote. Yep, yep.
Yep.
And it was one of the guys that was trying to get him out of office, but in the end, yeah, and I can't remember who the vote was. Uh, I can't remember who the one vote was, but it was one who was actually against Andrew Johnson, but decided that for
Yeah.
whatever for I in I've we've all watched the movie and seen and read the books, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
haven't looked at that one in detail, but yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
yeah, the chief justice of the Supreme Court oversees the trial,
Yep.
and uh, I just hope we got a decent. Who is the chief justice right now? I can't remember.
Roberts.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I know.
Really?
Yeah.
The libtard himself.
Yeah. Yeah. A Bush appointee
Yeah,
at that.
there's days if he wasn't a former president, I'd just like to walk up to him and slap his face a couple of times for some of
Yeah.
his decisions. You know, sometimes that president needs to be held accountable for stupidity.
Yep. Hmm.
He made some really bad choices. I
Yeah.
mean, I was a supporter of him. I mean, I supported
Same here.
George W. right from the beginning, but then he started listening to his dad's old cronies. Well, no offense to 41, but he wasn't that great of a president either,
Mhm. Yeah.
and we're
Yeah.
still paying for those mistakes,
Yeah.
you
He
know.
did make. Well, their mistakes pale compared to Jimmy Carter's mistake.
Oh well, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm. All right. So we covered that. What else is on our agenda here?
Can I say one more thing? You brought
Yeah.
up something
Go
about
ahead.
that your House elections. Well, we have in Oklahoma, we have one Democratic congressman.
Uh,
Okay, that's that runs.
Probably from Oklahoma City.
No, it's actually down in the southeast corner. It's called Little Dixie. They're a
Oh,
very old Southern Democrat district,
oh wow.
but she is under. It's a woman, and she's a Democrat, and she is under so much fire that she's gonna. If she votes, well, if she votes for the impeachment, she's lost the election. She's lost
Oh boy.
because her people have come out and said, you know, this, we because Oklahoma is the only state of all 50, 51, what was there 50, 50,
One
50
election.
states,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you got Washington D.C.
Yeah.
and does Puerto Rico get a vote?
No, they don't get to vote in
They
the.
don't have electoral vote. Yeah, they don't have
Yeah.
electoral. Okay. Anyway, so it's got the 51. Out of the 51, Oklahoma is the only one that every single district, every county went for Trump in
Wow.
2016. We're the only
That's
one that
amazing.
did that. And they reminded her that she lives in one of those districts and
Hmm.
she better, or one of those precincts,
Hmm.
and she better, you know, uh, vote no for impeachment because
Yeah.
her otherwise, and she got, well, she got hammered at a town hall meeting here just last week. So, you
Wow.
know,
Amazing.
her job, so the one Democrat we got, her job is in jeopardy. So,
Uh-huh. Well, here in Colorado, uh, uh, if you look at the map, it's very red, and the only blue parts are uh, Boulder County, Jefferson County, Adams County, Denver, and
yeah,
Pueblo, and maybe a couple smaller counties up in the mountains. But the
yeah,
rest of the state is red.
right,
But that's because a lot of the population is in those areas.
right.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you've got, uh, yeah, Denver's always been different than, say, Grand Junction,
Oh yeah. Hmm.
and I've been, I be honest with you, I've been disgusted with Colorado over the last 10
Yeah.
years at least. And, from being,
Same here.
my family was from, my mom's family is all from Colorado,
Right.
and it's embarrassing, you
Hmm.
know.
Yeah. Well, I got into Colorado politics deeply in 2010, and so I got to see a lot of the behind the scenes stuff going on, and you know, especially in the last few years, I'm like, geez. And then on top of it, we've got libertarians who throw a monkey wrench in the whole thing. And it's like, come on, guys. Do you really want Democrat control that badly? I mean, if you say you guys are all about liberty and freedom, but their ideas are, well, they think Republicans are no different than Democrats, which is a bunch of crap. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
you gotta remember. Okay, you gotta remember government is going to continue to grow no matter what. By how much, that is up to who gets elected. Now, if Democrats get elected, well, then they're going to go on a big spending spree. Where are they going to get the money? They're going to raise taxes.
Raise taxes. Yeah.
When
Yeah.
they do that, revenue goes down, and then they say, well, we need another tax. So they tax again, and that squeezes the wealthy people who are the ones that put money into businesses that help to keep the economy going.
Right.
Where Republicans, you know, they will restrain that growth of spending.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not going to be perfect. Where I don't know what the libertarians think
Well,
they do. Just stop all spending, keep it at zero. That's just not going to happen.
yeah. Well, to me, libertarians, and no offense to any of my libertarian friends out there, because I know I've got some, but to me, the Libertarian Party in general are nothing but they're the party of complainers. They
Yeah,
complain if you got too big a government. They complain if they're not, you know, they're a bunch of conservative hippies. They want to
yeah,
sit around and have no government involvement. They're anarchists, if nothing
yeah.
else.
Pretty
And
much.
they want to sit around and smoke their joints legally, and wearing their flip flops and their shorts and smoking their joints.
Birken,
And you call them what?
Birkenstock.
Yeah, yeah. And but and they don't actually. I mean, when was the last time a libertarian has come up with something really, really good that uh, uh, has been successful for any of us? You know,
Yeah.
they just want to sit around and complain.
Hmm. Yep.
And
And they want,
there again, no offense to my libertarian friends out there, but that's my take. They're walking the fence. They're the fence walkers because they want to have all the liberal freedoms that the
Right.
Democrats want. They want to be the pot smokers and the dopers and the, let's have a, free love and
Yeah.
all this crap. But we can't have the government telling us anything to do and let's not be taxed for it.
Mm-hmm.
But we still want to take care of this and that. We got to have a strong, the only thing I can say about libertarians is they do like a strong military.
Yeah.
And that's about as far as it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I have no use for libertarians.
Mm-hmm. They're, well, they're the party
I
of they
probably just
want a
lost half
hundred
your people.
percent or it's nothing, and that kind of thinking is just detrimental. And
Matt
yeah,
Matt says, "Oh hell, I'm offended, Lloyd. You're 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 a snowflake, anyways. You're
yeah.
you're a millennial, so you don't
Mhm.
count, Matt. Millennials don't have a say in this game." No, really, Matt, I'm teasing.
Well, just yesterday, a friend of mine who is a staunch Republican posted about we need to support Cory Gardner. Well, that started a conversation. And what I do is I threw in, yeah, the only thing that could screw this up is if libertarians hand the election over to Democrats. And oh boy, all my libertarian Facebook friends were all meh, 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 all crying and whining. And
Well,
so, hey,
when
how about look at the state house and senate? How's that working out for you? Democrats control the whole thing,
yeah,
and because of you guys running candidates in competitive districts, and Democrats are winning with less than 50% of the vote. You know?
yeah, yeah, and it's because they're splitting the conservative ticket, and that's the problem.
Hmm.
Is we can't seem to, as Republicans or as a Republican, the Republican Party has a real problem getting their message across. Libertarians have a real problem with trying to decide what the hell they actually want, and
Hmm.
Democrats are walking away with everything in between.
Hmm. Well, here's the gist of what the post was about. It was about the breakdown of uh, of the different parties. Like the unaffiliates are the biggest chunk of the pie.
Right.
They're over 30%. They're like 32, 33, 34%. The Democrats are the next largest. And the Republican Party only has 25% of that pie. And then if you look at the Libertarians, they're less than 5% here in Colorado.
Right.
So I'm it, the game plan is Cory Gardner has to not only get all the Republicans together, but to appeal to the unaffiliated voters.
Yeah.
And because libertarians, what they'll do is they'll jump in, put their candidate in, and you got a lot of these unaffiliates that don't want to be tied down to either party. Most likely, the unaffiliates are usually liberal,
Yeah. Yeah.
and but they don't want to be associated with the Democrat Party. So what will happen is the conservatives that are in unaffiliated, they'll split off and they'll go with the libertarians, and then that screws up the
Yeah.
whole shebang.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem. And I was thinking some of the other things that's going on. The Republican Party needs to really get their
Hmm.
in some ways they need to get their act together.
Right?
I don't agree with everything that they stand for,
Yeah.
but you know, I'm not going to be a libertarian because I darn sure don't agree with what they stand for most of the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But
And,
we have all these walkaways as they're calling themselves, the ones who've
yeah.
walked the African Americans who have walked away from the Democrats in order
Right.
to move in a more conservative, traditional conservative
Hmm.
values. They've got, old fashioned values, and the Republicans is the best they've got. But they're going to walk right back if we don't do something about that.
Hmm. Hmm.
And this is what the problem is. And man, I don't know how to get that message across any stronger than what we do on this channel, you know.
Right, that's right. And I was talking to a conservative friend of mine. We were talking about Casper Stockham, and his thing is, well, what's he got? What, he's ran for Congress and lost twice. But I pointed out, yeah, but that's Denver, and Denver is always going to vote Democrat
Yeah,
no matter what.
yeah,
Where CD sits is a competitive, somewhat competitive district. It probably leans slightly Democrat, and uh, I saw something from Kevin Lundberg. Uh, that I think he could reach out better to uh, the black voters and bring them in. You know what I'm going to do is I am going to invite Kevin to join us.
oh, okay. Yeah, it's sorry, I had uh yeah, we, like I said, you need to, they really, and Steve said it, the GOP needs to get their act together, get their message out there, and otherwise we're going to, yeah, we have a chance, and right now it looks like we have the chance to maybe take back the House and keep control of the Senate and get the White House again.
All right? Yeah, I
Especially if they impeach. I mean, impeachment is going to be, if they decide to impeach before Christmas, hey, we got an early Christmas present because it's going to come back and bite them.
Yep, that is true. I sent Kevin the link, and hopefully he'll come in and that'll make the show a little more lively.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Also, what I wanted to talk about today was a few days ago, Mike Huckabee floated the idea of a third term for Trump. But get this, everybody knew it was a joke, but all the liberals, their heads exploded. And even former, Susan Rice fell for it. And I'm like going, you gotta be kidding.
Oh, that's
You are
disappointing.
the former attorney general and you fell for it. Oh man!
Yeah.
But to me,
Well,
that is
first off, it would require a constitutional amendment, which requires 2/3 of the states to ratify the the amendment, and that amendment was made after Franklin Roosevelt,
that's right.
extended the depression an extra 5 years because of his, New
Five, 10
Deal.
years.
Yeah, 5 or 10 years. Yeah, the rest of it was a world depression, but they got over it. We were still milking it along because,
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's true. And yeah, and he was elected 4 times, and but he passed away about a month, a little over a month into his fourth term.
yeah, yeah, he did. He did. Yeah, I was reading two things that Steve wrote. One was, what the GOP needs to do is get their message across that we're all American citizens.
Yep, that's
We're
right.
not. I had a dear friend that passed away. He was Air Force, retired Air Force, 20 years in the Air Force,
Right.
20 years as a postal carrier, and he was still playing video games in his 80s.
Wow.
And he passed away here last year before last,
Right.
and he was a black man, and he said, "I'm not an African American." He says, "I put on an American uniform. I was an American citizen. I was born here. I was not born in Africa. My parents weren't born in Africa, and neither were my grandparents." He says, "And I chew my kids out every time they use that term. They're not allowed to use that term in my house." He says, "We're Americans." He says,
Awesome.
and that was the one thing I took out of that. Was, he and I had some really heart to hearts about it, and yeah, there's a
That,
couple things that we didn't meet on, But the funny thing was, is he was so pro Obama, you know, and it was a natural thing. But by the end of Obama, uh, he was actually in support of Trump when Trump
Yeah.
started running, and
Wow, that's
and
awesome.
he passed away. I think he voted for Trump, and then he passed away probably a year after that. He just passed away here. I think may have been this year, may have been the end of last year. I can't remember now.
Okay.
But
Hmm.
he was one of those that he said, and we actually laughed about it because he had straighter hair than I did. And he was very, he says, I am not black. He says, I'm mocha colored. He says,
Yep.
that doesn't define who I am. He says, I wore an American
Hmm.
military uniform. I'm an
Yep.
American citizen. I'm an American. End of conversation.
Hmm.
And then what Matt said is, remember the good old days when politicians would meet in the middle and resolve issues? Now
Yep.
it's either far left or far right,
Right.
and none will give anything. So we
Hmm.
get nothing to resolve that's good anymore. And he's right,
Hmm. Yeah, you're spot on, Matt. Now, the Democrats are so far out in left field that it makes it impossible for Republicans to want to work with them. Plus, there is so much animosity on the left, and it's like, I'm to the point where if I was ever elected to state house or city council, I would just tell the people on the left, sorry, I'm not going to help you guys until you guys stop with this nonsense, and then maybe we could come together.
Yeah.
And
Well, we got some there's some on the Republican side or on the far we got some of the far right people that are just have just as
yeah,
much
yeah,
animosity.
I
And I think
agree.
that's what Matt's talking about. We used to have a balance, this used to be a place and of course he says remember the good old days. Yeah,
Yeah,
Steve says there'd be
millennial. What does
yeah.
he know about the good
Yeah,
old?
but there again, he's seeing it. He's seeing it because he understands. He
Yeah,
lives in Oklahoma, and we are a predominantly conservative state. I remember when I moved here, we were this area that I live in, District 2, was this was Democrat stronghold, but they
right.
were the what they call the blue dog Democrat. They were
Yeah.
Southern conservative, church going Democrats, and unfortunately, they were also the Democrats that wore the white sheets. And
Well,
a lot of
like
people forget that the guys in the white sheets were Democrats.
that's right. And
They were started by Democrats, anyways.
all right. Sorry, Kevin can't make it. That's okay, Kev. Uh,
Well, that would have been nice, but yeah, uh, I don't know. You're right. There's so much animosity. Even I find myself getting frustrated, and it's you get to watching this and listening to this crap, and then pretty soon you're getting angry. And
yeah.
I literally, I took a I've taken I did read a little bit about it today because I knew I was going to be doing the show, and I watched a little bit over the weekend. But I've stayed away from YouTube and everything since since uh, Greg's show Friday night. I didn't do anything related to YouTube.
Yeah.
I turned on movies. I watched the remake of the Ghostbusters, which there again, liberal slant, but it was still
Yeah.
funny. You know,
Hmm.
I may not agree with who they are as people, but
Right.
and I watched movies yesterday. I just we
Oh,
just
that's good.
yeah
Yeah, you do need to take a
I
break from it once in a while.
yeah
I like Steve's comment. Left field, hell, they're beyond the parking lot.
yeah yeah yeah. Talk about foul balls.
Yeah. Well, here's my point. When you have a party that actively harangues people at restaurants
Yeah,
or at the theater or even at their house, going to their house and having demonstrations. I mean, what have we become? I mean, they've become you know, like the party of the fascists in Europe.
Yeah, the
You know,
same thing that the
after
same
World War One.
yeah. I don't know if you have this on your agenda, but speaking of Europe, what about England?
Oh yeah, Boris Johnson won, and the conservatives won big time there, which is just fantastic. And
Yeah,
I think this Trump phenomenon is still spreading around the world. I mean, look at what happened in the Philippines. Duterte won, uh, and he's like the Donald Trump of the Philippines, and you know he's just as
I
opinionated as Donald Trump, and he uses a lot of salty language there.
yeah. Well, and I think we can go beyond Trump. I think we need to go back to Brexit. Let's go to Brexit because
Yeah,
that was pre-Trump. Okay,
yeah,
what it is the conservatives are wanting to get rid of the socialists, and this is part of what you know Brexit was about, was getting away from the socialist agenda of the
right.
European continent. Okay,
Hmm.
they did not want to be dictated to by socialists.
Yep.
Uh,
That's
because let's be honest, when the USSR fell, it's sort of like your neighbor is infested with roaches,
yeah.
so they set off 3 or 4 roach bombs in their house. Guess what happens?
They
Every other
go
neighbor,
to
yeah,
yeah,
they go to everybody else's house, and now you're setting them and sending them back. It's just, or mice. The same thing with mice.
yeah,
And well, communists are the same thing. They're just as bad as roaches or mice. You
yep.
know,
That,
we
that's true
they
because well, when the EU was formed back in the early 50s, it was to kind of make Europe kind of like the United States of Europe,
yeah,
to
yeah,
where people could freely travel to other countries, and then slowly over time, the socialists started taking over the EU government,
right.
and now these separate countries are like going, you know what? We don't like what you guys are doing. Now England finally has
Cojones.
the balls, so
Yeah.
to speak, to say, hey, stuff it. We're tired of this,
Yeah.
and you guys are uh,
What
you're bleeding us dry.
Well, and that was the thing with Brexit. They decided to break away from the EU and get away from that socialism. That was the first sign,
Hmm.
and it's a sign in general that the people of the world are tired of. We want to have our own government. We want to be run by,
Right.
not by groups. Like, we don't want George Soros, who's not even welcome in his own country,
Yep.
coming over here telling us how to do. But yet he backs all these left
Yep.
wing
Well, you got
groups.
to remember he was a Nazi sympathizer.
Yeah, yeah, he was. You
Mhm.
know, and that's what they don't.
Collaborator.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was.
Hmm.
But so you got Brexit, and then we had Trump, and that
Yep.
was something that happened. Then
Mhm.
you had look, even down in Australia, they had a conservative election that the conservatives took over
Yep.
control of the Australian government down there.
Hmm.
And now you had Boris come up. Boris John is it Johnson?
Yeah.
Boris
Boris
Johnson. Yeah,
Johnson.
Boris Johnson. Now that guy's just as he actually looks a little nuttier than what Trump
Yeah.
does. At least Trump's got his comb over styled. I
Yeah.
actually was looking at the other day, and it's all his hair. That's not a toupee, but
Yeah.
that is
That is.
one really long comb over. You
Yeah.
know,
Mhm.
and put a little bit in between here, but whatever.
Also,
Uh,
the socialist governments down in South America are all fallen, except for Venezuela. The socialists lost big time in Brazil,
yeah,
and even in I think not Colombia, but some of the other countries
right, right.
around there. And so the socialists are starting to lose control there. In Central America, the only socialist country there is Nicaragua, and they're doing all right. They're doing what China's doing by allowing some uh, free market in the country to
Right, right.
uh, kind of pacify the peasants and say, "Here you go. Here's your crumbs, and now don't have a
They're letting them eat
revolution."
cake.
Yeah. Mhm.
But well, and that's the thing. People are getting the people are finally getting tired of it. There again, we have to. This is what, and we as a country are bad about doing. We swing. Our pendulum. You know, does not know how to stop. It swings either far left or far right. I don't want any. I don't. I don't want the neo Nazis and the skinheads coming back either. They've been keeping their head down, and I just assumed they'd kept their heads down.
Mhm.
My father fought against the Nazis, and
Mhm.
uh, hey, Mitch, how you doing? He just
Yeah.
stopped in.
Welcome, Mitch.
He
Welcome.
was out. He was out flying. I can't say it. It's flying weather here because it's
Yeah.
been cloudy and cold today.
Yeah. It's been cold here and it's snowing like heck in Kansas City. And the last I heard, the Broncos were losing 13-3, and that was at halftime.
Oh, it's
Uh,
not bad. It's only
I'm
43. But
so yeah.
yeah,
So
but
that
yeah, with Boris Johnson when he got elected, and then he the idea was is he came in to settle up Brexit, and they kept the liberals in the parliament kept basically screwing things up, and
right.
it came down to the fact that hey, we're going to do this by January, and they set a time. They've got a timeline. Once they set it, they had to keep to it.
Mhm.
And uh, uh, there's Agent K, extreme
Oh
politics.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
he's right. Extreme politics, extreme left and extreme right, are not one's no better than the other. And but Boris Johnson comes along, and now he's got a mandate.
Mhm.
Uh, it's it, he's got a mandate that you've got to, he it's looking good for us because what's happened in England seems to have a ripple effect coming across the ocean to us. And it's really got the Democrats concerned because people around the world are finally,
Mhm.
you know, getting fed up. I mean, it's getting to the point where even CNN is starting to to sound worried, which
Yeah. Well, it'd be nice if Canada would just kind of come back to reality and
well,
they got they got
They've got well, they've got legalized pot everywhere, okay? It's and that should be the perfect example of how it impairs your judgment.
okay. Oklahoma's droner says, "What I don't understand is we had a war with the country over taxes. Now we pay taxes on taxes. It seems like people are just fine with." Well, uh, what's different about that was taxation without representation was one of the big deals why we went to war with England. Here, well, we have a government, and people decide on, okay, we can have, they elect the people to represent them, and they get what they get. For example, here in Colorado, and I think Oklahoma has this, where they have a taxpayer bill of rights, to where uh, they could only tax at a certain level depending on the growth of population and inflation. There's a couple key components in there that keeps the state government from just raising taxes without
Yeah, they
going
they
to the people.
yeah, well, that's the way it is here. Yeah, in Oklahoma, they have to vote to raise taxes,
Right.
and but that doesn't mean the city can't. The city gets their little. And but Matt, no, not everybody is happy with taxes upon taxes.
Yeah.
For example, we pay a state tax on cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's a cigarette. That's a take. To bring them into the state.
Right.
There's a state tax. Then we pay a sales tax on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
We're being double taxed.
Oh, and then you have the city tax.
Well, and yeah, and the city sales tax on top of that. Yeah.
Right.
Cigarettes were taxed once, and that's when they put the tax stamp on the little
Yep.
thing on the bottom of the pack. That
Yep.
was it. But now Oklahoma and their wisdom saw better too. And that's when we were being, but nobody's rescinded that. But
Yeah.
yeah, and we didn't just go to war because of the taxes, over the,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, what it was they kept adding taxes because they were,
And
who
plus,
they were trying to pay for. Which war was it? Was it war with Spain? Yeah, I think they were still paying off. They were still,
oh, okay.
and
Yeah.
that's why they started taxing us because, you know,
Yeah.
and they also prevented us from selling to other countries. We
Yeah.
couldn't sell to anybody but
That-
them because,
yeah.
and
I was
that's what.
that point. Yeah. That's right. Hmm. And that's the cool thing I like about having Lloyd on this channel is because he is pretty knowledgeable about history, and uh, so that keeps this show going. Steve says not in California, Art. They bring up special assessments like gas assessments for last last year, and the next year it'll be up to 50 cents a gallon. That's true. They're trying to do that here in Colorado, but because of Tabor, they have to take that to the vote of the people. But here's the rub. We just had an election in 2018 where we said no to cities and counties having control over oil and gas um, exploration or having distance where a well could be from a residential area. Well, what people said no, they voted that down. And what the state assembly do after the Democrats took control of the state senate, they had control of the state assembly. They said, "Screw you, we're going to do it anyway," and that was rammed through with no bipartisan support. It was all Democrats, and it went to Governor Polis's desk where he signed it, and now gas companies are moving out of the state. So all that income that counties were getting from these oil and gas companies that were drilling here in Colorado, that revenue is drying up, and that's the thing about the Democrats. You heard Bloomberg wants to shut down all coal fired power plants,
Yeah,
which
and
it's going
and
to kill the coal industry, which
well,
Obama
yeah,
tried to do.
right. And the thing is some of these coal fired plants right now are running such, their output is so much better and cleaner. You know, they're moving
Yeah,
furniture. They're
they
moving furniture in my living room, so trying to get set up so I can put my Christmas tree up. But
right.
yeah, and they've the coal industry or the coal power plants have done so much to put out clean air, and they've had to because they get fined if they don't.
Yep.
So, and some of those are burning cleaner and are cleaner for the environment than what, well, a nuclear power plant. What part of that?
Yeah.
Ask Chernobyl, ask Japan and their place.
Yeah.
And yeah, Matt, Yeah, we'd have blackouts everywhere across the nation. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve.
Well,
But
look, California.
Matt's brought up a good point, and
Yeah,
and I wanted to touch on that being it's an Oklahoma point of view. Yes, he says he pays his state taxes, and then he has to pay for wildlife use, which is what they. This is how they're getting around it in our state. They've got fees, and
same
now
here in Colorado. They get
2020,
the same.
everyone will have to pay to get into a state park. That's the
Right.
kind of things. I mean, yeah, you're right. Those fees are, and we need to, as you know, that's how they're getting around it. And
Mhm.
uh, I agree. And he says, there seems to be a lot of types of taxing going on
Mhm.
that won't raise tax, so they just find a new way to double a tax or a fee. I hate using air quotes, but yeah, a fee. And that's what they're doing. They're just, you know,
Mhm.
and uh,
Uh,
all I can say is, Matt, it would be a whole heck of a lot worse if the Democrats were in charge of our House and our Senate and our governorship. You
yeah.
know,
Mhm. Steve, I just wanted to point out that that's the wrong kind of coal. That's
yeah,
COAL
yeah. I
coal.
don't. Sometimes autocorrect will do that to you.
Yeah, yeah.
I hate autocorrect. And there's Mr. Rodney Bell in there.
Oh, Rodney Bell, welcome, welcome.
Yeah,
Yeah, glad you jumped in. We're having a lively discussion about taxation and power plants. What the Democrats want to do is they want to tighten the control on how much coal-fired plants could produce, and so they want maybe a percentage of 1%. Uh, that they want it cleaner, but it'll be so cost prohibitive, and it would the net effect would be negligible. So it, uh, it just gets me when I see these ads where Donald Trump and Senator so and so want to release more pollution, which is totally false because uh, water quality and coal fired plants are so much uh, cleaner that even that little teeny tiny percent of an improvement in cleaning up won't make a hill of beans.
yeah. Well, Matt brings up another point. We have the cleanest air standards of any country in the world.
Yeah,
We're not the polluters. We
yeah,
got Russia, China, India. Those are
yep,
three of the world's largest polluters right there.
that's
You
right.
don't see them doing anything about it. It's us. We're having to pay the taxes. You got England that's, they got now, Matt, you want to be ticked off about something. They've got a TV use tax. They have a tax they have to pay to use the TV.
Yeah, that's right. Over in England and
Yeah, in England, in the UK, they
and
have a.
in Australia as well.
I Does Australia have that? I didn't know if they
I
did or
think
not.
they did, but I think if I remember correctly,
I think they got rid of it.
yeah.
But
Mhm.
they've also got they've got to buy efficient uh efficient appliances
Right,
because
that's right.
otherwise they have to pay a footprint tax.
Right. Mhm.
And
Yeah, maybe Greta should go over there and say, "How dare you?"
yeah, uh, that's why I have free over the air, no cable for me. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
yeah, you look at your cable bill. My God,
I know there's so many
there's
fees on that.
friggin' fees and taxes, and
Oh, I got so tired of it. When I moved into my apartment, I said, "The hell with cable or satellite. I just have internet, and
yeah,
I think that's more important than to have cable where you have all these channels and maybe 90% of it you're not going to watch. Where I get free over the air TV, and I got some stations. I'm like, oh, hey, I really like these stations, like Me TV and Antenna TV.
Yeah,
They've
I
got,
watch when we're out the cabin. I watch Me TV all the time.
yeah,
Uh,
mhm.
it's
And
one,
they got the best cowboy
they
TV show.
got. Yes,
Yeah.
weekends on Me TV is just it's got all the good ones.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Rawhide, Gunsmoke,
yeah,
Cali,
wagon, yeah,
Cheyenne,
wagon
uh,
train,
Wagon Train.
the
Have guns,
rifleman.
go travel.
Oh my God, Paladin. Yeah, I hadn't
Yeah.
seen that one in years either. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
And
I used to think he was a really slick looking guy wearing all black and all that stuff.
yeah,
But when you go back and look at him now, he's one of the homeliest human beings I ever seen.
yeah. Mhm.
But the gals liked him because of the black and the leather, I guess. But man, uh, who was that? That was Richard Boone.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh. And then there, oh, I Wanted Dead or Alive with
Yeah,
Steve.
with Steve McQueen. Yeah,
Yep. Hmm.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
and the Rifleman. Who could
right.
forget Rifle?
And
That was
John and
one of
Johnny
my
Yuma,
favorite.
the rebel. Uh,
Oh yeah, Rebel Without Cause.
no, no,
And
no, no. Johnny Yuma. It was
oh yes, that's
he was he was had fought for the Confederacy, came back, and he was sort of like Steve McQueen. He was sort of uh, uh, a bounty hunter,
no, yeah,
or
that's
he went in and did, and that was probably because you're younger than I am, so you may have missed that one.
oh, and another one, Brandon. Who could forget Brandon?
Oh
That
yeah, yeah,
came along later in the
yeah, with
60s.
Chuck
That was
Connors.
just before they purged all the cowboy shows.
Yep, yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. There's a
And
bunch
oh,
of good ones
Bonanza
growing up.
was another one that I liked.
Who was that?
Bonanza.
Oh, Bonanza. Yeah,
Mhm.
Bonanza. Yeah, and
Yep.
let's see. Yeah, there's a lot of those. I mean, that was a Sunday evening. We'd watch Bonanza. We did watch Lassie, Bonanza, the Ed Sullivan Show.
Yeah. Mhm.
Those were Sunday evening staples,
Yeah, that
And
was back when we had three stations, maybe four if you count the the PBS station.
yeah, yeah, because you had Channel 7, which was CBS, I think.
Yep, it was CBS
You
and
had Channel
Channel 9, I think was that,
ABC,
yeah, and Channel 4 was
or
NBC.
was NBC. Yeah, yeah.
Channel 2 was an independent station.
Yes, Channel 2 was the independent, and then you had
Channel 6 was the public broadcast.
public broadcast. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Those were the four that were there when I lived in Denver.
Yep.
And then I moved to Grand Junction. We had one TV station.
Wow.
It was part of the XYZ broadcasting. W or was it K? You got
Yeah.
did they
If
was
you're west of the Mississippi, it was a K.
so
At
if K?
Des Moines, where they had WHO.
Yeah, we had I can't remember W or KAKZ, I think, and
Okay.
they X, Y, and Z. There was three over in the Western Slope. They had one station, and in Grand Junction, and it was like I said, it was the Z station, and there was no cable at the time, and
Mhm.
it was ABC, CBS, and NBC. So
Oh,
you
okay.
got whatever each night. You got one of the three lineups,
I see.
you know, and then they
Mm,
had the local news at 10 o'clock and all
right.
that stuff. But yeah,
Hmm.
except during a certain time of the year because Grand Junction is only 30 miles from Utah.
That's right.
So for 2 weeks out of the year, you had to watch
Oh, Mormon
The Mormon
Tabernacle Choir.
Tabernacle. Well, not just the choir. You had to watch the Mormon Tabernacle or the Mormon Convention.
Oh, yeah.
It was
That,
worse than watching the political conventions, which as a kid I thought was a waste of time.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah,
Well,
you watch the Mormon Convention every every
Hmm.
year for 2 weeks.
Well, there were a lot of Mormons in Grand Junction.
There were, yeah,
Yeah.
because like I said, we were only 30 miles from Utah, so it
Well,
was,
and Rangeley and Craig had a lot of Mormons up
yeah,
there, and
yeah,
yep. Hmm.
yeah. There were a bunch of them. Yeah,
And there's a bunch in Wyoming and Idaho and Nevada.
yeah. They've kind of spread out. They used to be a lot more concentrated in the, uh, the
You-
western side of Colorado
Yeah,
and in Utah, but
yeah.
then they, you
Well, you
know,
gotta
well, you
remember,
got
uh, back in the day, there was a territory called Deseret, and then it became part of United States territory, and then it was made into Utah, Nevada, and
right, right,
Idaho, and yeah, yep.
yeah,
Uh, so that's what's going on. And what was the last topic we were going to talk about was Donald Trump finally got a trade deal with China.
yeah, yeah.
So maybe now the tariffs will go away and the price of DJI and all those drones will start to come down again,
Well, here's something that's very interesting. I got an email from DJI yesterday or today,
right?
and they're having a special sale uh, of up to 40% off. I can buy the DJI Osmo Action camera
Oh,
for
nice.
$249 right now.
Wow, that's not bad.
Yeah, yeah. So they've and that just came out, and and there's several other things too, but the Osmo Pocket is
Hmm.
also down pretty
Well,
cheap.
I remember when Trump got elected and he was talking about tariffs and all these Republicans were going, he's going to wreck our economy with tariffs. But you got to remember, Trump is a businessman too.
Yeah, yeah,
He's not going to do something stupid that's going to wreck the economy because that's going to hurt him as well.
right, right.
Knew that tariffs could be used in a way to uh, get these other countries to uh, play fairly. It's not just free trade, but fair trade.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Also, he just got a new NAFTA deal,
He
which is
did.
more equitable for the United States.
Yeah,
So, you know, give Trump some credit. He's doing some amazingly good stuff, not only domestically, but foreign as well. And he may come, turn out to be one of the greatest presidents of the 21st century. He already is, in my opinion.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. Well,
we're not
it,
in any wars. Uh, we're bringing our troops back from overseas, and we're making our allies finally pay a bigger share of their defense, and we're not
right.
in the bill for all these people. So, which is
Yeah,
good, and
yeah,
that's good for us too, because that brings that's more money that is spent here rather than in Europe or Asia or South America, whatever. Mhm.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I
But
mean, he's a good businessman, and that's the thing. And he made all these campaign promises, and so far he's done his absolute best to keep them. And the thing, he didn't just pull the tariffs off. I mean, yes, he retracted. He's left a few in place, but he's also got them to where they don't play ball. Boom, they're right back on.
that's right. That's right. And I think and the big thing that gets the parties on both sides riled up about him is he's not one of them. He's not,
Well,
he's not of the Republican Party. He just wants to make us uh, be a great country again.
yeah, 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 that's it. Yeah, they've got so crazy about this bullying thing. What they've done to Trump. They're doing stuff to this president that they would have never thought of doing to Obama, and they would have never done to Jimmy Carter. They would have never done to Bill Clinton. I mean, even Bill Clinton was given a fair shake. He had his people in there. You know, this bullcrap uh, that they're
Tell it
calling.
like it is,
Well,
Lloyd.
I mean, it's that's what it is. It's a bunch of horse hockey that they're calling an impeachment hearings. No,
Yeah,
this is
because they don't like him. Oh, he's undoing all the stuff Obama did.
I didn't like Obama either, but I didn't actively seek out to see that him. I didn't say, hey, let's impeach him.
Yeah,
I mean, personally, I thought he should have been, but that's but it wasn't something. And this is the problem. And the Republicans are just now finally getting a backbone and standing up to these people, and
that's
say,
right.
and this is the other problem. The
Yeah, what
media
is the other problem?
the people well, here's in Matt, here's one of the things, I've said this before. One of the best ways for whenever there's been a coup or there's been a revolution, the first thing that they do is they grab hold of the media. Right
Hmm.
now, the media is, they've made the people choose. Well, they the thing is what you see in the media is not necessarily the truth, and
Hmm.
that that goes for uh, uh, the conservative side of things, as well as the
Hmm.
liberal media, the mainstream media, which is very liberal in its slant. And people are what you're seeing on the news isn't what is happening every day. I see all sorts of people out every day. You guys see my vlogs. I don't see, at least here in Oklahoma, we don't have the Antifa group. Those Antifa groups are in the liberal strongholds, and they're doing that to hold on.
Yep,
They're fighting to hold on to what little bit they've got left,
yep, that is true. And the
But
Republican Party. Here's the difference about between the Republican Party and the Democrat Party. Now, we don't actively go out and harass our opponents. We don't want harm to come to our opponents. We don't even want to. We don't even think about wanting to kill somebody because
yeah,
their ideas don't comport with our ideas.
right, right.
And that's what's dangerous about the Democrats. They're, well, not
It's
the
like they're
Democrats,
well,
but the left leaning people,
right.
they have this thing in their mind that anybody who doesn't adhere to their ideas are somehow evil and must be destroyed at any or all cost. Mhm.
Yeah, you're right. Matt says this country would be so much better off if the news came once a week. Instant media and social media is the downfall. You know,
Well,
he-
and that's
used to in our days, Art, we saw. That I remember when the CBS Evening News was only 15 minutes long.
yep.
You only
Hmm.
had 30 minutes of news. You had 15 minutes of local news, which meant they got 5 minutes to say, somebody, the fireman just got the kitty out of the tree. We're having snow this week. Uh,
And the
the
Broncos won.
and the Broncos won again. Boom, that was it. You
That
had
was
10
it.
minutes for each, or 5 minutes for each segment. Went on to the CBS News, in which they talked about whatever it was that was nationally important, and then boom,
Mhm,
basically when it expanded to 30 minutes each,
mhm,
well, you had a 30 minutes of evening news,
mhm.
and they spent 15 minutes of it talking about the death toll in Vietnam, you
Mhm.
know
Yep.
and that's
Mm,
actually what started this tide of the left.
yep. And he's right about social media. I think social media has really brought vitriol to the forefront. And I
Yeah.
see it on YouTube now.
Oh yeah.
And
It's yeah.
like just uh, a few days ago on Pusa Studios, they were talking about uh, Grant McIntosh got swatted. For those of you who don't know what swatting means,
Oh
it
yeah. Yeah.
means an anonymous person calls up the police and says, "I'm going to kill my family. I don't know what to do," and they send the cops over, and he
Yeah.
gives the address to the guy that he's targeting.
Hey.
And Grant's got the video from his front porch when the cops showed up, and Grant coming out in his pajamas with his hands up. Now,
Yeah.
how that happened to Bill the drone reviewer. You remember
Yeah.
that, Lloyd? When
I heard about it, but I didn't. When did
yeah,
it see? I'd heard him say that, but I
yeah,
don't.
because he had to cut his show short because the police showed up.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, and
yeah,
I don't care whether you like a guy or not. There,
yeah.
as one YouTube creator to all the others out there, I don't care how bad you dislike somebody. There's no because somebody could get killed.
Yep, that's right.
Somebody comes
Oh,
knocking my
somebody
door down.
killed uh, swatting because uh, this YouTuber was at his computer. I think he was a gamer or something. The
Yeah,
cop broke down his door, and when he turned around, he had the mouse in his hand. They thought he had a gun.
yeah,
They filled him full of holes.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly,
and like,
exactly. And that's well, they come breaking in my, they're going to get shot at because somebody breaks down my front door while I'm back there in the bedroom or something, or they're liable to get shot because I keep,
mm,
we keep guns in the house, uh, and I don't care how bad you dislike another person on YouTube. This is just, it's unacceptable. But
mhm. Oh,
yeah,
Mel is here.
yeah, I meant to say hi to Mel.
Hello, Mel. Welcome to the show. We're just about to wrap up here pretty quickly. Uh, so, yeah, so that's what's going on. Hey, we had a pretty interesting show.
We had a good show today.
A
Yeah.
few other topics. And so, anyway, thank you, folks, for coming to the show. Mel, wish you would have gotten here a little sooner. But yeah, I just want to thank you for another great show. Next week, let's do a Christmas show.
Well, that's what I was going to say because
Yeah,
it's coming up on Christmas, and I thought we'd do something. Yeah, I thought
yeah,
that's kind of what I'm going to be doing next week because uh, Monday is the 23rd, right? So that will be
yep,
my
that's
Christmas
right.
show.
Hmm.
Next Monday will be
Yeah,
my
and I'm
Christmas show.
off part of next week, not this coming week, but the following week.
Following week, yeah,
I
yeah.
go back to work on the 26th. I work 2 days, and then the weekend, and I work 2 more days, and I have the rest of the year off.
Oh, okay, cool. So
Well, thank you, Steve, for those
yes,
kind words.
yeah, absolutely.
You have a great evening as well, Rodney. Thank you all for coming in. And and Lloyd's got his big pooch. Ranger isn't.
Ranger, yeah, well, he has to stay in the bedroom
Oh,
when
because of your house,
because the housekeepers he stays in there because uh
kind of protective.
no, they run him, they make him stay in there so he's
Oh,
not walking across their mop floors, but
oh, yeah, yeah.
they're in there right now changing, doing some stuff, and for me in the bedroom they got Judy up and they're taking, she's out there, so he got out of the bedroom, so he had to come check. He saw my door was closed and had to come in and check out what was going on.
Okay. All
So
right. Thank you all again for coming to the show and all the barking dogs. And you all have a great Sunday. God bless you. God bless this great state of Colorado and the United States. We'll see you all next week on Arts Place. Take care, everybody.
catch y'all next time.